world of sports, eh?
Oh, he's copped a head right to the nuts. Tedesco's butt crack. Ahoy! He's nearly taken security's head off.
I have no idea what the wasted world of sports is.
Wasted world of sports, ahoy. I am going to get that right one day. One day I'm going to get it absolutely perfect and everybody will be shocked. Me, especially. I'll be the most shocked out of everybody. The day that I get that intro correct, boy, what a celebration it will be. How's everybody doing? Nice to see you all there. Dan Jam, ahoy there, mate. UFC, OnlyFans, ahoy. Blake Lyons was there earlier. Ahoy there, Blake. Welcome along to the first Thursday night footy of the season. Mr. Peebles, ahoy. So yeah, honestly, I've tried everything to get that intro correct. One of these days it will happen. I'm sure of it. But anyways, this was a game that I was not particularly interested in. As we know, the Newcastle Knights, one of my most hated teams from last season. Yet to be established, whether I like them or not this year. It's hard to like any team with Kalyn Ponga in it, isn't it? Especially Slim Shady Kalyn Ponga. I'm not even close to joking. Okay, I'm not sure if anybody has seen this, but do yourself a favor. Go on to the NRL.com website. Go to the match center for this game. And click on Kalyn Ponga's profile and check out that hairstyle. And let's all send him tweets and notices about what year it is. He's gone the Kalyn Ponga from Tonga. He's gone the bleached blonde Slim Shady look. Incredible scenes, really. It makes it even harder to support the Knights. I have to go for the Knights tonight, though, because they are, of course, up against Ricky's Green Goblins. And Ricky's Green Goblins were my bold. And I understand it was a bold prediction. But that's what it's all about here at the Wasted World of Sports. I make bold predictions. And my bold prediction was that the Raiders will be vying for the wooden spoon this year. So we have to see. Knights versus Raiders. This is their first opportunity of many to try and prove me wrong. I have zero faith in them this season. They're very light on the interchange. They have no playmakers. I mean, they've got a decent enough backline, but I just don't think they've got the halves to take advantage of that. A solid forward pack. Initially, to start off with. But yes, very, very, very thin on the interchange, in my opinion. They're rebuilding. They're going to struggle. Oh, God, it still says 5 legs there. Viking Axe, ahoy there, mate. A very confident Canberra Raiders supporter there. Viking Axe going for the Raiders 20+. That is an extremely ambitious prediction. $20+. Not just the win, but $20+ as well. I mean, that is out there. That's huge. The teams are out there warming up at the moment. We've got approximately 10 minutes until kickoff, I think. Thereabouts 9 minutes now. Great to have the footy back. Indeed, Viking Axe. I'll cheers that. I don't know why I held my empty hand up when I've got this over here in this hand. Cheers, Viking Axe. I'll drink to that. Mr. Peebles around the ground. Swans 14, Demons 9. So there you go. The AFL's back as well for anybody who cares. Dan Jam, us, will I be streaming all day Saturday? Good Lord. Whew, this weekend is shaping up, isn't it? This weekend is going to be massive. All things considering. So what have we got tomorrow? Gamer Mel, ahoy there, mate. How are you doing? So tomorrow we've got the Warriors versus the Sharks. I've got to do the Sharks' first game of the season. Waratahs Highlanders. Hey, well, I won't be able to do that. That's on at the same time as the Warriors Sharks. But that Waratahs Highlanders game in the Super Rugby, that's going to be very interesting. The Waratahs pulled off an almighty upset over the Crusaders in round 1. But then, of course, we've got the Storm. We've got Gamer Mel's Melbourne Storm, who will be without Cameron Munster, by the way. Cameron Munster fell over in the shower or something, and he has succumbed to that shower injury, and he's ruled out for round 1. And the Storm versus the Panthers. Craig Bellamy's 100% round 1 record is on the line as the Storm take on the Panthers. I don't think the Storm are going to be able to get it done. Sorry, Gamer Mel. I just can't see the Storm winning, even at home, without Cameron Munster. Cameron Munster is such an influential part of that squad. He is a big, big out for the Storm, and this could very well be the first time that Craig Bellamy tastes defeat in round 1. So we've got a doubleheader for the NRL tomorrow. All right, Saturday morning. Oh, no, not Saturday morning. Not Saturday morning, I apologize. Saturday during the day. Fijian Drua versus Crusaders. Brumbies versus Force. Hurricanes versus Blues. Not the most exciting lineup of Super Rugby matches there, must be said. Eels versus Bulldogs at 4:30 could be a cracker. I'm leaning towards the Eels to win that one. Oh, Titans versus Dragons. Yes. I've tipped the Dragons for the upset. Well, upset. I say upset. I think the Titans are extremely overrated. The Dragons to get the win there. So, yeah, we'll do that doubleheader. Why not? Reds versus the Chiefs. Oh, that's going to be a shellacking. And then we've got Sunday morning. The Six Nations returns. The Six Nations is back. What have we got? Oh, Italy versus Scotland. Okay, that's not the most exciting match. But then we've got England versus Ireland. That'll be a good one. I mean, I may as well do both of them because they're back-to-back, one after the other. So I may as well do both in the Six Nations. And then Sunday afternoon, Dolphins versus Cowboys at Suncorp Stadium. That is our lineup of wasted... Oh! The other thing that we're contemplating doing on Saturday, which will be very dependent on the time, we are contemplating our debut UFC stream, which is happening on Saturday, I think. Yeah, Saturday. UFC. Oh, UFC's on Sunday. Oh, perfect. If the UFC is on Sunday, that is perfect. I thought I was informed that it was on the 9th. Hang on, let me double check this. Because I don't want to make a mess out of this. March the 9th. But I wonder what time zone that's in. What time zone is that in? Ah, Sunday. Yeah, okay, cool. So that's Sunday, our time. Brilliant. Okay, that's great because Sunday has only got the one match on. Sunday is only Dolphins versus Cowboys. Who gives a toss about that, right? I mean, who really cares about that game? Andrew O'Grady, but Andrew O'Grady hasn't returned yet. So we can talk about the Cowboys all we want in a negative light. And then when he shows up, we just... There we go. Big weekend of wasted world of sports action, potentially. We'll see how much of it I end up doing. I've got to be doing the Eels game. Absolutely. Eels versus Bulldogs is probably going to be one of the games of the weekend, to be honest. Eels Bulldogs, Saturday, 4:30 my time. Combank Stadium, leaning towards the home team. I love how we're so excited about this game between the Knights and the Raiders that we're talking about everything else that's happening. That's brilliant. The main card will start for me at 1:30. Okay, so we won't... if we do the UFC, we won't be able to do the Cowboys Dolphins game. But you know what? I'm willing to sacrifice that. Dan is actually right for once. Hey, I'm 2 for 2 at the moment in the tipping Wasted Water Sports tipping contest. I am 2 for 2 at the moment. It's only Gamer Mel and I. We're the only ones who are 2 for 2 at the moment. Okay, I did not plan that. That was a coincidence. The tipping contest just popped up in the chat room. I know you're talking about the Eels game, Mr. Peebles, but that's what I'm saying. You're saying I'm right for once. I'm one of the only people with a 100% record at the moment. So I'm right more than once. Resentful for life. Who have I got? Sharks or the Warriors? Warriors at home. Yeah, Warriors at home. If it were Sharks home field advantage, Sharks. But it's over there. The Warriors are a different beast at home. DJ Shaq, ahoy there, mate. How are we doing? Yes, indeed. It's round 1, and I'm 2 for 2. I'm 2 for 2. Nobody else is, except for Gamer Mel. Let's see if I'm 3 for 3 after this game, because I've gone very heavily in favour of the Knights here. I've got the Knights 13+. I've got Greg Marju, anytime try scorer. I've got Bradman Best, anytime try scorer. And I couldn't decide between the Raiders. The Raiders try scorers, I'm sure that they'll score at least one try. I mean, they're going to get smashed, but they'll score at least one try. I couldn't decide who it was, so I've comboed up Xavier Savage and Hudson Young. I've comboed them up. I was resentful for life. Campbell Graham is such a massive out for the Rabbitohs. And Jack Whiten's out suspended. Jack Whiten won't be back till round 3. They basically had no centres. They pretty much had no offense to the players that played, but Campbell Graham is such a huge out for that South Sydney team. Manly were at 100%. They looked good in the preseason. I was not surprised by that at all. Geez, look at the crowd here for the Knights' first home game. Apparently, Newcastle can only pull a crowd on a Sunday afternoon. That is a very devastating-looking turnout for the first game of the year. UFC Only Fam says, why is everyone so high on Savage? Probably the same reason that everybody's riding Reece Walsh's ballsack. Based on potential. The kid's got a lot of upside. But unlike Reece Walsh, they don't go over the top with it. Because he doesn't play for the Broncos. If he played for the Broncos, look out. Ah, that 5 is a mistake. Yeah, that 5 is a mistake I just can't be bothered fixing. It's actually only 4 legs. It's actually only 4 legs. And yes, that is either of Xavier Savage or Hudson Young. Ahoy there, Blake. How are you, mate? Hudson Young's a try-scoring machine. If the Raiders get close to the line, look for a Hudson Young crash ball, and he'll be pretty much impossible to stop. So I've gone a forward and a back because I just have absolutely no idea how the Raiders are going to play. Covering my bases as best as possible. And we are ready for kickoff here. It looks like the Knights will be receiving. And it is good to have the footy back. Time on. Time on. Newcastle do indeed have the first use of the ball. People are probably still filtering in after work, to be fair. What time is it? 7 o'clock. Okay, they should be finished by now. I'm so confused about... I'm so confused about the turnout. Why does it say win under Marju? Does it? Okay, that's a mistake. It's obviously meant to say try. I'll fix that up later. All right, this game has indeed started. And the Knights get through their first set. Hassle-free. And get a good kick away. Good start there for the home team. I did indeed tip the Knights, Game ML. Knights to win this one quite comfortably. I think the Raiders have got to score first, though. If the Raiders score first, it'll give... I'm just curious if the Raiders score first. I want to see UFC get chirpy in the chat room. We've got a little bet going on, by the way. UFC only fans and myself, we've got a little bit of a personal wager going on. He's got the Raiders to finish inside the top 8. And if the Raiders finish inside the top 8, as Kalyn Ponga falls on his ass, taking that high ball. He caught it in the end goal, though, so falling over is irrelevant. So I wouldn't mind seeing the Raiders score first, just to get UFC a little chirpy in the chat room. Ponga now stepping away from a couple, fires it across into Marju in midfield. The Knights are rolling on. Crossland goes down the short side. Gamble, dummies. Nobody falls for it. He's wrapped up by three Green Goblins. Knights looking good, though. Great shape out to the left and an overlap. And space for Marju on the outside. The Raiders cut across and slow that ball down. Bradman Best gets the offload. Has to go back towards midfield. This is looking good for the home team, though. Tackle 4. They're inside the 20. Fifth and last now. What can they come up with? Crossland goes to the far side. Gamble out the back to Hastings. And a big bump off there from Dane Gagai. Still going Gagai. He's over the line. But they stop him just short. They push him back and just short of the line. That was a charge and a half from Gagai. Winding back the clock, as they say. It was a poor fifth tackle option. But he nearly got there. He nearly made something out of it there, Mr. Gagai. Mr. Peebles has gone Marju anytime. Penrith, Warriors, oh, he's gone the Titans. See, I reckon the Dragons get the win. Titans, a couple of big outs. Fafita is a huge out. Jaden Campbell's a big out. I think the Dragons pull off an upset this weekend. Not by much. We might be looking at Golden Point in that one. Golden Point might not be a bad pick. UFC, the conditions of our little wager as the Raiders get the kick away. Oh, am I behind? Am I? Sorry. I am too. Exactly 30 seconds. It was exactly 30 seconds. Okay, I'm starting to think that Mr. Peebles has hacked into my webcam. It was exactly 30 seconds behind. That's crazy. Yes, because we've missed a penalty to the Knights for inside the 10, and now that's a loose pass out the back. Ponga goes back, recovers, and beats one, and then drops it cold. Drops it colder than his Slim Shady haircut. Poor work there from Kalyn Ponga. All right, let's catch up on the other stream as well, on the Discord stream. Raiders with the ball on halfway. Resentful for life went Ponga anytime. It's hard to go for Kalyn Ponga in any multis because you never know if he's going to get flattened and taken off the field. Raiders down the short side. The Knights are numbered up in defence, though. That's tackle 4. They'll get themselves in attacking range here, though. 30 metres out. Well, if they do something a little bit more than that, Nick Kotrick just has a little dart from dummy half. 5th and last, Fogarty in midfield. That is a high ball. That is Burton-like. And Ponga makes a mess of it at the back, and that's a try for the Raiders. Xavier Savage is claiming a try. Kalyn Ponga has knocked the ball on, and it has been grounded by the Raiders, but has there been a grounding by a Knights player first? And Kalyn Ponga has had a really mixed bag to start this game. I wanted chaos indeed, DJ Shaq, and I got it. Oh, this has been touched there by number 4, Hopewade. Has Hopewade got a touch on this? Could be the only thing that saves Newcastle. Yeah, Hopewade's touched it. And that's a knock-on from the Raiders. Well, that's a shame because Xavier Savage being in my multi and all, that would have been a great first little tick. But that explains why Kalyn Ponga knocked it on as well. Because Ponga was there, Ponga was under the ball. It made very little sense that he just completely made a mess of it. Zero tackle, and here come the Knights. Off the hook, just a cheeky little touch. Seven minutes have just raced by in this game. The Knights are making way more meters off their sets of 6. Tackle 4, they're 30 out. Hastings, short ball onto Dylan Lucas. And here they are, 5th and last, attacking range. Solid set of 6 there. Hastings puts it up. The chase is good. It's knocked on by the Knights and the Raiders come away with it. And who is that? Number 5, Savage. Nearly gets away, but Gagai just grabs him by the shirt. Xavier Savage could have been away there. That would have been interesting. So anyways, going back to UFC. UFC asked what the little details were in our wager. So I obviously made a bold prediction, and I know it was a bold prediction. But I predicted Raiders wouldn't spoon. I was told that I'm absolutely crazy, even though the bookies have the Raiders finishing 3rd from the bottom, which isn't that far away. Penalty here to the Raiders, right out in front. Take the 2. Take the 2. It's right out in front. It's a gift 2 points. UFC's got them finishing inside the top 8. So therefore, if they make the top 8, it will be 8 shots on live stream. 8 shots in a row. They've knocked back the 2 point. They're not going to get anywhere near the 8. I mean, they might not get the spoon either, but they will be nowhere near the 8. Take the 2, DJ Shaq. I don't care if it's 40 meters out. It was right in front. Take the 2. They didn't take the 2, and now they've knocked the ball on, and Tarpany spills it in the tackle, and they should have taken the 2. And the Knights are pumped up by their defense there on the goal line, or close enough to it. A very simple mistake. Tarpany into contact and losing the ball, and the Knights are off the hook. They're not helping themselves here, Newcastle, though. I would have taken the shot. Take the points when they're on offer. I've said this during rugby league streams. I've said this during rugby union streams. Take the points when they're on offer. That would be the sort of coach I am. Never knock back an opportunity at guaranteed points. Now, 40 metres out right in front is probably not guaranteed in rugby league. It would be in rugby union. As close to a go. Oh, loose carry there as he knocked it on. Cheeky little knock on. No, he gets away with it, Lucas. And as a matter of fact, he gets away with it. And a 6 again, but now Phoenix Crossland. Phoenix Crossland has been folded by Papali'i and spills the ball on tackle 0. The Knights. This is scrappy. The Knights are in scarily bad form here with their handling errors. It was a great shot by Papali'i. Let's not take away that hit from Papali'i. Right under the rib cage, on the ball, forcing it loose. But, yeah, some worrying signs here from the Knights. Maybe that's what the crowd thought as well, that they didn't show up tonight. Now beating 1 and 2 and cutting back in field is Kotrick. He tries to milk a 6 again. Doesn't succeed. Hoskins a great pickup, by the way, for the Raiders. Now they've got a huge open side. 5th and last crossfield kick is nowhere near close enough to the goal line, and the Knights come away with it. Tyson Gamble tries to milk a penalty, but the referee is having none of it. A lot of milking going on here. A lot of milking from both teams. Farmer Joe's so far tonight. Big charge here from the Knights out of territory. Who's that turnaround, mate? Let me see your number. That was a great run. That was Marju. Bumped off 1. And here's a kick on tackle 4 from Crossland. It's dangerously close to the sideline, and it is too heavy, and it's out on the full. He can't believe it. And the Raiders, off the back of another Phoenix Crossland mistake, will be back in attacking range. Oh, Mr. Peebles. Thank you so much. Oh, look at this. I can actually like things. Oh, that's nice. I can like it, and I can heart it. That's new. That's pretty cool. Thank you so much, Mr. Peebles. Another super chat. Very much appreciate it, mate. Cheers. Just because you're a legend. Thank you, sir. As the Raiders now attack 10 metres out, they've ripped through 3 tackles already. That's gone quick. From dummy half, Levi with the short ball. Don't like it, or you won't get any more. Too bad. I already liked it. Now, a cutout pass. It's a little bit loose, and Kotrick has to slow down and step back in field. They get a 6 again, though. The Raiders must score here. The Raiders must score for 6 again. They're only 10 metres out. Morgan Smithies. That dude's name is legitimately Morgan Smithies. Fogarty with the short ball to Papali'i. Papali'i with the offload. It's still alive here. Tarpany is close. Oh, the Knights are holding on. Just. Slow play the ball. Tarpany's trying to milk a crusher tackle penalty. Oh, an awful lot of milking going on from both teams here. Well, that can't... He's ducked into the tackle. He has ducked into the tackle. He's appealing for a crusher. He has ducked into that. That would be ludicrous. That would be ludicrous speed. Go. If that's penalty. Oh, it's on report. It's going to be a penalty. You are joking me. Oh, he ducked into it. Okay, wow. They're taking the 2, by the way. They are taking the 2. That's what we want to see. Take that 2. Tapani has put his head down. Jeez, that has set a scary precedent for the rest of this season. That is a terrifying precedent that's now been set in round 1 for what's going to be considered a crusher tackle. He physically ducked into him. He physically put his head down and charged into his sternum. That is a scary precedent that's just been set, I don't mind telling you. The Raiders are about to lead this game 2-0 as boos justifiably ring out across the stadium. $2-0, but that was absolutely horrendous. I cannot believe that was... And look at the cheeky... Oh, look at that sly smile on Sticky Ricky's face right there. That was... he's coached them into that. He has coached them into this. That smile that he is trying to hide right now has just given everything away. That was a pre-planned coaching maneuver. Look for that a lot from the Raiders this season. Head down into the sternum, claim a crusher, win the penalty. Yeah, you got to give it to him. I mean, if there's an exploit in the rules, as this kick is out on the fall, the Knights are just imploding here. The Knights. A kickoff has gone out on the full. And it's a penalty on halfway. Take the 2. It's penalty on halfway here for the Raiders. Incorrect restart. And this is going downhill very rapidly for the Newcastle Knights. Well, that's a shocking kick to touch. It's only made about 10 meters. But still, this is good field position for the Raiders. They're back. They're back down there. Oh, Mr. Peebles. Again, I'm not going to like this one after last time's warning. But cheers, Mr. Peebles. Mick Hancock would be proud. Was Mick Hancock a bit of a milker, was he? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. He played for the Broncos. Oh, they're down again, the Raiders. Rapana this time is staying down and clutching at his head. Oh, this has been coached into them. You cannot convince me that this has not been coached into them. The amount of times the Raiders are staying down, appealing for the penalty. Hudson Young's nearly over the line. I told you, look for that crash ball close to the line. They've just held him up. 5th and last. Fogarty, it's another shocking kick. Doesn't have enough distance. And Bradman Best comes forward and takes it. Hudson Young was so close to a tick off my multi there. That was so close. Gagai now. Marching upfield. Flopping around like a fish out of water. Looking for a penalty. This guy, I've got to say, in all honesty, both teams, disgraceful. The way that they're just trying to milk penalties and 6 agains and just get on with the game. 5th and last here, the Knights. It goes to Ponga. Ponga puts it high from the 50. Rapana falls over. He holds on to the ball, though, most importantly. Oh, yeah, Mick Hancock. Yes. Oh, Mick Hancock was a prolific dry humper of the turf, trying to get the penalties. Yes, you are absolutely correct. Oh, and that's a huge hit. Saya Fiti. Savage has done well to hold on to the ball, and now he's appealing for a penalty. Xavier Savage is appealing for a penalty. Oh, this is going too far now. The Raiders have obviously been coached into this. This is obviously a Ricky Stewart call, but this is getting ridiculous now. Every play of the ball, the Raiders are appealing for some form of penalty. This is getting stupid now. DJ Shack says, in fairness to the Raiders, they're not the only team that supposedly milks penalties. Oh, no, absolutely not, DJ Shack. Absolutely not. But the first 15 or 16 minutes of this game has been utterly ridiculous. The number of times that it's happened. Fifth and last now, Raiders. They're just inside Knights territory. High ball, pressure on Marju. No, he takes it well. He looks up. There's 4 Raiders defenders in front of him. But he holds his own. Knights with the ball back. And a penalty to the home team. Notice how they did that without milking. They just got it given to them. No milky milk. The kick into touch is not the greatest one. Kalyn Ponga's had a really mixed bag so far this evening. He's had some good runs, but overall he's been pretty terrible. But tackle one here for the Knights. They're on halfway. Ponga. Out the back to Gamble. Gagai now. The play dies with Gagai, as it often does. He has no pass. And now Gagai is trying to fish a 6 again. Back to this near side they come. Crossland to Hastings to Bradman Best. Bradman Best takes them on. Gets the offload to Marju. Marju has to run back in field. It's called a knock on. Who's knocked it on? Challenge. Challenge. Who has knocked that ball on? I don't think they'll burn a challenge this early, but I'm curious to know who's knocked that on. Oh, Marju, maybe. Yeah, I wouldn't challenge that. I would not challenge that. Mr. Peeble says, despite all the unjust tactics by the Raiders, they were only ahead by 2. It's kind of sad. I agree. I 100% agree. They've had all the possession. Now a scrum down, 15 out from their own line. Hopawate crunched. UFC Only Fam says, thank goodness Strange isn't goal kicking. Well, Fogarty would be kicking, right? Did Fogarty kick the penalty goal? I think if you've brought Jamal Fogarty into the team, he's your goal kicker, you would think. So, yeah, that makes sense. Fifth and last here for the Raiders, just shy of the halfway line. 2 points to 0, they lead. Fogarty with the kick on the fifth and last. It's another high ball. He's got an impressive kick. I'll say that. I mean, not close to the line. His kick for distance is good. His kicking close to the line, trying to set up a contest, is no good. The Knights have the ball back, but they've been able to do nothing with it. Too many errors here from the Knights. 18 minutes, Papali'i is off. He must have a niggling injury or he's just not fit anymore. I think 18 minutes is a solid effort from Papali'i at this end of his career, to be honest. It is a short stint. Fifth and last, Hastings puts it high. That's a much better kick. Pressure at the back. Well taken. Well taken by Rapana. And he surrenders in the tackle. Raiders, 5 out from their own line. Tackle 2, darting from dummy half. Great vision there. Yes, he's getting on. He's getting on, UFC. Oh, he's only 31? Bollocks. Bollocks. Is he really? I'm with you, USC. I honestly thought that he was like completely at the back end of his career and pushing 40 for sure. Speaking of 40, from inside the 40, Fogarty. High, straight down the middle of the ground. He is not 31. Oh, Ponga beats one, goes straight through the gap. Beats another, gets the offload, and here's a try for Tyson Gamble. Tyson Gamble scores under the post. Well, that's a shame. It's none of our try scorers. And Kalyn Ponga has created something out of nothing. We are going to have a look at the obstruction here. There's a potential obstruction. Oh, it's gone up as no try. It's gone up as no try. There was a potential obstruction in midfield. Kalyn Ponga took big advantage of a lazy runner. Tyson Frizzell, it might have been. Teddy Levi has milked the absolute bollocks out of that. But the rules are the rules, and that will be no try and a penalty to Canberra. The Raiders have milked another one, folks. The Raiders have milked another one. Jeez, Ponga's been taken out in back play as well. Why aren't we looking at that? We should be looking at that. And I think that's what the crowd's booing about as well. This should be a penalty for Ponga being taken out, I would have thought. Mr. Peeble says, okay, do you think Gamble is a future New South Wales Blues 5/8? He's a Queenslander, isn't he? Isn't Tyson Gamble a Queenslander? Oh, that's Hudson Young. Don't send him off. Don't send him off. We need him for our try scorer. Don't send him off. Oh, 10 in the bin for Hudson Young. Well, that's 10 minutes that Hudson Young's no threat for our multi. Is this the turning point in the game? Wasn't Hudson Young just running back essentially into position? He's just running. I mean, I know that he's sort of, yeah, okay. He's kind of wound up and he's just running back though, isn't he? And gotten in the way. I think that's a little harsh. I know that he has lashed out, air quotes. He was pretty much just running back, wasn't he? Anyways, the Raiders have well, how have the Raiders still got the ball? How has that happened and the Raiders still have the ball? Can someone explain that to me? I'm going to need that explained to me. How can a player be justified as sent to the sin bin, but that team has the ball back? I'm going to need that one explained to me, I'm afraid. It is the Raiders, though. 10 out from the line. Fifth and last. They're 5 out. Chance for points. Fogarty, crossfield kick. That's a much better one from Fogarty. Much better. And that is a try for Zach Hoskeen, the Penrith Panther. The former Penrith Panther has come to the Raiders. Because the obstruction led to that play occurring. But foul play that warrants a send-off usually overrules anything that happens before it. Usually. I don't know why it hasn't tonight, but usually it does. Zach Hoskin, though, the former Panther, and this is what I was talking about, the Raiders, they will obviously score a try. They won't be held scoreless. But where are their tries going to come from? The backs or the forwards? At the moment, it looks like they're forwards. Not sure why Rapana wasn't pinged for an obstruction there, since he was ahead of the play. Mr. Peebles says, it's the only way I can see it being that way. I'm not saying it's the rule. No, I understand that, Mr. Peebles. It makes it makes no sense to me that the Raiders walked away from that with the penalty. DJ Shack says, I think the interpretation is that foul play doesn't override a penalty-only offence. Don't know. No idea. No idea how they came away with the ball there. But anyways, they did, and they made the most of it. A converted try. And Ricky's Green Goblins have milked their way. They've Canberra milked their way to an 8-0 lead here. And the Knights have looked a bloody shambles, really, in all honesty. The Knights have been atrocious. They are going to need their supposed superstars to step up here in the second half. Fifth and last for the Knights. But anyways, back to State of Origin. I believe Tyson Gamble's a Queenslander, is he not? Have we established that? Hey! Did I or did I not call it? I said I hope the Raiders score first so that UFC gets chirpy in the chat room. Remember when I said that? It's going to make it all the sweeter when the Knights run away with this in the second half. I'm on to you, sir. Hastings out the back to Gamble. They've got good shape here, the Knights. Shut down, though, by the 12-man Raiders defense. Fifth and last, Hastings puts it high. It's not a lot of distance. The Raiders let it bounce, and it bounces kindly for them. They have the ball back. DJ Shack says, I don't understand why that is, because a high tackle should supersede an obstruction penalty. Exactly. It should. I don't know. Honestly, this is the first time that I can remember it happening. That's not to say that it's the first time that it's ever happened. It's the first time I remember, or that I've really noticed that taking place. I don't understand. I've never seen it happen before where a team has had a player sent to the sin bin but still retains the penalty. I've never seen it. Never. Fogarty gets the kick away. It's a good one. Cheers, Mr. Peebles. Mr. Peebles with another super chat. 29 minutes into the game and no ticks on your multis. That's happened many times. I've also got a cheeky little... Are there any... if there's any Broncos supporters out there, close your ears now. I've got a cheeky little bet on the Broncos to be winless after 5 rounds. That'll be a good one. That's an $800 or $900 payout. That one, if it comes off. The Knights move up towards halfway. Dylan Lucas is in a world of hurt here, clutching his knee. It's all right though. The Knights will finish stronger in this game if they can fix up their error rate. The Knights will finish stronger because the Raiders have no interchange. Compare the benches. The Raiders have got Starling, Gula, Mariota, Swallow. So the Raiders have got nobody. The Knights interchange Cogger, Saifidi, Hetherington, and Kai Pearce-Paul. Penalty here to the Knights, though. Oh, that was well milked. Look at that. He's suddenly fine. It was a hip drop tackle, but I hate the milking. He was down for 50 minutes, clutching his knee until the penalty was awarded, and then suddenly he's fine. Honestly, if I would be such an asshole if I were a referee. I really would be, because I'd be like, okay, the player's down, he's clutching his knee. It's the short ball to Saifidi, and Saifidi bursts through. Oh, it's Frizzell, sorry. I always get those two confused for some reason. They look nothing alike. They look absolutely nothing alike. I always get them confused, though. Always. They go to the short side. Jack Cogger coming on is huge. That is a huge replacement. Cogger, who swung the grand final in favor of the Panthers. I don't understand. I always get them confused. Frizzell and Saifidi. I was doing the same in the State of Origin. It's a weakness. I've got the team sheets in front of me and I still get them confused. The Knights have finally put a couple of plays together without an error. I got the wrong number 11. I had anytime try scorer on the Raiders number 11. I should have had it on the Knights number 11. Oh, and here's Slim Shady, the real Slim Shady, Kalyn Ponga, with the attempted conversion, puts it right down the middle. It's 8 points to 6. The Knights are back. The Knights are back into it. Anyways, oh yeah, what was I talking about? Me as a referee. Oh yeah, I'd be such an asshole. Honestly, if I gave a penalty like that, okay, so old mate was there clutching his knee. He was down on the ground and he was clutching his knee like Peter Griffin from Family Guy, that episode. As soon as I blew the penalty, if he jumped up and was suddenly fine the way he was, I'd be like, you know what, you son of a bitch? Penalty scrapped and reversed. And you can go and have a sit down for 10 and think about it. Actually, DJ Shaq, you know who I'd be like? Do you remember? Because I know DJ Shaq's into his rugby, just like I am. Let's see if you remember the rivalry between Andre Watson and George Gregan, as the Knights have just made a complete mess of this from the kickoff. The Newcastle Knights have just made the most epic of mistakes from the kickoff. The only reason that Ben Hunt still has the nod is that it was in a grand final. But they have just made a complete mess of this. and given the Raiders another chance before the halftime break. That was a shocking mistake. And then, the Raiders have lost it into touch. It's a comedy of errors. It's a Three Stooges sketch out there on the field at the moment. Dane Gagai's forced the mistake from Xavier Savage, and the Knights are going to get the ball back. We need some Benny Hill music playing over the PA on this one. Oh, Savage has just lost the ball into touch. The Knights get away with murder there. What a comedy of errors from both teams. But anyways, as I was saying, DJ Shaq, remember the rivalry between Andre Watson and George Gregan? Those were the good old days. I still remember Andre Watson penalised George Gregan so many times for backchat. He was the only referee that would do it as well. He was the only ref with the guts to actually ping George Gregan for backchat. It was fabulous. I remember when they were playing the Sharks in the Super Rugby final. It was probably 2000, maybe. And George Gregan mouthed off, and Andre Watson blew a penalty and said to Gregan, "If this costs you the final, you sit down and have a think about it." It was brilliant. But anyways, the Knights have made a complete shambles out of this again. They are not playing well at all, the Newcastle Knights. It's scrappy, it's loose, and they spill another ball over the sideline, and the Raiders will have it in good field position. It's a comedy of errors from both teams at the moment. They're appealing for an early tackle, but that's they're on a hiding to nothing with that one, must be said. Raiders with the ball on halfway. 5 minutes to go till the halftime break. And halftime can't come soon enough for the Knights, I would dare say. The Raiders back to a full complement. It was a trade-off. 1 try apiece during the sin bin period. Nice inside pass there. Puts Mariota into a little bit of space. The Knights do well to shut it down, though. 5th and last, 20 metres out. Raiders go short side. Fogarty kicks back across field, open side. Up they go. Everybody's up. It spills out the back, and this could be a very opportunistic try for the Raiders. This could be an opportunistic try. Who knows what's happened here, though. Raiders up. Knights are up. Oh, that's off the Raiders. Knocked on again. High ball knocked on again from the Raiders to let the Knights off the hook. Did it go up as try or no try? That will be the key here. Did it go up as try or no try? Rapana's knocked this on. DJ Shaq says apparently the most infamous incident between Watson and Gregan was in 2001 Brumbies vs Highlanders. I'm pretty sure Watson was considering sending Gregan off after what he said. He said, "Don't ever talk to me like that again." Gregan was a cheeky little bugger, though, wasn't he? George Gregan, in fairness. Chirpy little bugger. No try. Knights with the ball. 8 points to 6. 8 points to 6. Raiders lead. But it was good to see somebody put... oh, look at that completion rate from the Knights. 11 out of 19. Shocking. 58% completion rate from the Knights. They need to fix that up in the second half. You cannot win a game of footy. I don't care who you are and who you're playing, but you're not winning a game of footy with 58% completion rate. Cut out pass, puts Tuala in space. The Knights go down the wing. Great defense from Xavier Savage in the end. Cover defense wraps them up. Fifth and last. Hastings, 20 out. Crossfield kick. It's up. It's knocked back, and it's a try for Bradman Best. It's a try for Bradman Best. Well, he's gone up as no try again. Dylan Lucas might have got a touch on this. Let's have a look. Up they go. Oh, no, it's off the Raiders, and this is a try. This is off Timoko. This is off Timoko, and this is a try. Bradman Best. And this is going to be a tick on the multi. This is a tick off the multi right before the halftime break. Bradman Best, anytime try scorer, and the Knights take the lead. Oh, it's going to get taken off you, Mike. Celebrated too soon. There was a cheeky little touch from Dylan Lucas. Eight points to 6 it remains. Is it just me, or does this referee not want to make any decisions? I'm getting that feeling. I mean, he is sending everything up as no try. He doesn't want to be responsible for making any calls. Three minutes to go till halftime. Hoskins been a great pickup for the Raiders. 6 again for the Raiders as well. So they will have a full set of 6 now inside Knights territory. They will once again have the opportunity for last say in this half. The Knights have been the masters of their own demise here. From dummy half goes Rapana. Mac Orchard, ahoy there, mate. Warriors to lift the 2024 trophy. The pass out the back to Fogarty. Nothing doing there for the Raiders. No, I think the Panthers win again quite comfortably, Mac, to be honest. It's the Panthers' premiership to lose. Huge defense there from Dane Gagai. Puts a big hit on and forces the mistake. And now Frizzell loses it. Tyson Frizzell loses it in contact. But it'll be a double knock on, surely. And we come back for the original feed for the Knights. Mr. Peebles says Munster is out for 3 weeks. What did he do in that shower? So Cameron Munster had a slip in the shower, apparently. And he's been ruled out of the game this weekend against the Panthers. And now, breaking news from Mr. Peebles, Munster's out for 3 weeks. What did he do? What shower injury could cause 3 weeks on the sideline? That's phenomenal. He dropped the soap and loved it. Well. Well, the Knights, they come away with the ball. They've got space out to the right. Gagai beats the first tackle again. Gagai's had a solid game. Dan Jam says clearly he fell on the attachment. It's always dangerous doing lines in the shower, isn't it? Bad things can happen. Inside the last minute of this half, Ponga fires the pass on willy-nilly. And that'll be a mistake. And then the Knights. Kalyn Ponga has been shocking. I've got to say, the real Slim Shady has been shocking tonight so far. He needs to step up in the second half. It's been a disastrous performance for him. Crossland has been awful. Two of the Knights' best players last season, potentially, Crossland and Ponga, and they've both been awful tonight so far. 4 seconds to go. This will be half-time as soon as this play dies. Crossfield kick from the Raiders. Oh, I don't know about that. Gagai now puts a kick in. And the Raiders secure the ball. And that will be half-time. Geez, hard to say who's on top after that. Really hard to say who's on top after that first 40 minutes. The Knights have been an absolute shambles. The Raiders have had all the territory in possession, but they've just not offered anything on attack. They haven't looked threatening on attack at all. Their only try was an opportunistic one. The other try that they almost scored was an opportunistic one. I still can't understand how the Raiders had a player sent to the sin bin but still won the penalty. That makes no sense. Mac Orchard says, hopefully you win the legs. 40 minutes to do so. Well, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed indeed. UFC OnlyFans says word on the street is he was giving himself a colon cleanse and got carried away. Well, that's easy enough to do. I mean, what? I don't know anything about this. Mr. Peebles says Knights have barely gone left in attack. They've been very right-hand side focused, and I'm not surprised. Dane Gagai's been on fire. Gagai's been having a good game. Kalyn Ponga's been awful. Bradman Best has been solid. Crossland has been shocking. I would hook Phoenix Crossland at halftime and have Jack Cogger out there for the second half. I know Jack Cogger's been on the field, but he's not been on the field to replace Crossland at hooker. I would actually take Crossland off, shift Cogger to hooker. But they'll be right. The Knights will be okay if they clean up their errors. They'll be fine because the Raiders interchange is weak. The Raiders have got a good enough starting squad. It's a good enough starting squad, but yeah, their interchange is very, very weak. Yes, that's I don't know why that's there under Greg Marshew. It's meant to be try. I can't be bothered fixing it. It's also meant to be 4 legs, not 5. I also can't be bothered fixing that. All right, Wasted World of Sports. I'm going to have myself a very, very quick break, and we'll be back to dissect that first half right after this. We've got a little bit to talk about. That was an interesting first half. We have some things to discuss, and we'll get into those right after this quick break that I will eventually have. I promise. I just have no... Oh, God. You'd think I'd be half decent at this by now. You really would. All right, I'm going to have a quick break, and we'll be back to dissect that first half. Here on the Wasted World of Sports, 8 points to 6. The Raiders just ahead at the moment. Just... All right, Wasted Water Sports. We are back halftime here. Raiders, Knights. A little bit to talk about here in this first half. The Knights, I'm so curious to see some of their statistics. Some of their statistics will not make for very pleasant reading. But the thing that I'm most concerned about is the precedents that have been set here. Some of the precedents in terms of the milking. Canberra Milk living up to their old sponsor. I don't know that they have that sponsor anymore, but they're certainly getting very milky. And I think that's been coached into them. There was a camera shot of Sticky Ricky up in the coach's box after one of those penalties, and the sly smile that he was trying to hold back, honestly, for mine, spoke volumes. It was a cheeky little smile, a recognition of, yes, we got away with that one. Or this is what we've been working for. So, halftime statistics. The Raiders, 55% possession. Well, 54, it just updated. Heel fries, ahoy, mate. How are you doing today? So the Raiders, 54 to 46% advantage in possession. This is what's been killing the Knights. Completion rate of 66%. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you're playing. You are not going to win a game of footy with 66% completion rate. You're just not. The opposition, the Raiders tonight, travelling at 84%, doing well. 16 from 19 for the Raiders. 14 from 21 completion rate from the Knights. Not good enough. That's not good enough for first grade NRL level. And they will need to tidy that up in the second half. They've looked like the stronger of the two teams if they hold the ball. So yeah, some worrying signs there though from the Knights. Very, very alarming to say the least in some of those statistics. But that's the other thing I was going to look at: Wasted Water Sports tipping contest. The Wasted Water Sports tipping comp, which I'm currently leading. I know that it's only 2 games in, but I'm currently leading with a 100% success rate. I'm starting to feel a bit nervous about tonight. How do I get to Game 3? I can't see it. It might not have updated yet, Game 3. But we'll see. Anyways, I've tipped the Knights tonight. And, some worrying signs at halftime for Newcastle. I still don't understand. Okay, talking points for this half. The milking from both teams. This is not just... This is not just Raiders. I'm not throwing shade at the Raiders here. I'm really not. It's been both teams. And it's been both teams on the regular. The milking that's gone on from both of them has been atrocious. I'm not a fan. I hope that that's not what we see from season 2024. I wouldn't like it. We don't want to see that level of milking. The other thing, I suppose, to take away from the first half, the star players from the Knights need to step up. Ponga has had a really mixed bag. I would say overall, Ponga's been quite atrocious. Overall. But he's got a whole half of footy to make up for it. So we'll see. Kenny. Can he get it done in the second half? We will see. Oh, Mr. Peebles. Stop it. 55% can, 45% new. Line breaks, 3. New, 0. Missed tack, 21. New, 19. Sure. Anyways, what do we think of stats? Yes. What do we think of my? I think it was a very worthwhile bet. The Broncos are paying $18 to be winless after 5 rounds. Now, I'm not saying it's guaranteed. There's no guarantees in sports betting, as we know. We know that full well. There are no guarantees. But that's a decent bet, right? $18. The Broncos have got... so they lost round 1 to the Roosters. They've now got the Rabbitohs, Panthers. Okay. They lost to the Roosters. They've got the Rabbits, Panthers, Storm. The game against the Cowboys is going to be the big one. They will have a game against the Cowboys that makes or breaks that bet. I think they lose the other 4. They lose the other 4. It's that game against the Cowboys that's in the balance. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. It's always terrible to cheer on the demise of the Broncos, especially for Michelle being such a big fan of the Broncos. A Broncos diehard that Michelle is. It sucks to have to cheer against them because you hate to see your friends. You hate to see your friends lose. But I like seeing myself win more than that bothers me. So we will be cheering on the demise of the Brisbane Broncos for the first 5 rounds at least. Here on the Wasted World of Sports. But anyways, more important things tonight. Knights versus the Raiders. The Raiders leading this 8 points to 6. The Knights have been an absolute bloody shambles, and they know it. That is the Sheds of a team that knows they've been atrocious in that first half. But I think for the Knights, the positive to take out of that is they're only behind by 2. If this were any other team, I think they are just getting shellacked by now. I think they're out of I think the game's over against anybody else. Against anybody but a wooden spoon contender this season, this game's over at halftime. That's just my opinion, though, of course. But, yeah, I mean, just imagine what the scoreline would be against, say, the Panthers right now on the back of those stats. I think the Panthers would be ahead about 40 points to 6. So that's a positive for the Knights. They're only behind by 2. If they can tidy up their errors, they should win this quite comfortably in the second half. Teams are back out for the second half. Mr. Peeble says if the Raiders win by 2, that will be because of the mastermind of Ricky. Well, I did say that. I did give myself a little fallback in my predictions stream when I said if anybody... Kalyn Ponga's got the worst tattoos in the history of the NRL, by the way. But I did say if anybody can take a bunch of nobodies and gel them together into a solid unit, it is Ricky Stewart. I just don't see it happening this year. But let's see. Second half is underway. That was sudden and out of nowhere. Second half is off and running, and the Raiders have first use of it. Leading by 2 points. Can they go on and get the job done? 40 minutes of footy left. The first Thursday night footy of the year. And we are loving it, by the way. We are loving it. Big charge here for the Raiders. Oh, excuse me. But yes, I think the second half, the Knights... Mr. People says on Ponga's thigh, he has a tattoo of a toilet cubicle with 2 guys in it. Probably does. The kick goes down to Marju. Marju, eyes up the defense. It's a wall of green goblins in front of him. But a solid first set of 6 here in the second half for the Raiders. Gagai beats the first tackle again. Gagai's had a solid game so far. He needs that to continue in the second half. Mr. People says, sorry, I've had 6... What, 6 rums? Nice. OP rums. Fifth and last. The kick down to the corner. Taken well at the back. No pressure, though. And the Raiders will start this set 10 out from their own line. Overproof. Okay, there we go. Overproof. 6 overproof rums. Driving the Raiders backwards here in the tackle. Oh, the Knights have stepped it up in the second half. Big defense here. Tackle 3. The Raiders still trapped inside their own 10-meter line. Good run from Hopewade. Tackle 4. Darting out of dummy half, Xavier Savage. Fifth and last Raiders. They've only made about 10 meters. That was a good set of 6 defensively. Fogarty gets the kick straight down the throat of Ponga, who holds onto it, surprisingly. The Raiders' kick chase has been good. It's been a wall every single time, a wall of green jerseys. And a penalty to the Knights. A 15-on-1 strip in the tackle. No, it won't be golden point. The Knights, the Raiders just don't have an interchange. The Knights' interchange is much, much stronger than the Raiders. If they can just clean up their mistakes, they run away with it. There'll be no threat of golden point at all. The Knights just need to tidy up their errors. And here's a chance for them to strike early. This is an opportunity for them to make that statement. A big charge from Saifidi. And that one is Saifidi. That genuinely is a Saifidi. Hastings takes it to the line on his own. Gets an elbow to the face for his troubles. They stay on this near side. There's Frizzell. Yes, I got his name right. Nothing doing here for the Knights on attack. Here's Hastings to Ponga. Ponga with the short ball. Now the offload wraparound. Ponga knocks it on. Kalyn Ponga's having a nightmare. Wow, Kalyn Ponga's having a bad game. Ponga on the wraparound spills the ball. It was on there. If he holds onto it, it's on. Ah. Kalyn Ponga having a nightmare out there. But that was a good start to the second half for the Knights. Promising signs. Scrum down here, Raiders. 10 out from the line, midfield. Juggling the ball there. Was that Savage? Dangerous. Does well to regather and hold on to the ball. Hudson Young, big charge back in towards midfield, but he went further across than he did forward. Driving backwards in defense again. The Knights have definitely gone up a gear. Well, Jesus, they needed to, didn't they? And the Raiders just got nowhere to go. Tackle 4. Just outside their own 20. Hoskins is taken high. That'll be a penalty. That'll be a penalty. Hoskins taken high. There was no choice there. late in the tackle count. What a relieving piggyback penalty. Mr. Peeble says, I've noticed that Ponga is very similar to the way Hayne played in the fullback position, but he is just not Hayne. The problem for me is I wasn't really watching during the Jared Hayne era, so I'm probably not the best person to comment as the Raiders go down the short side on a raid. Hosking again. Oh, leave it to a Penrith Panthers player. A Penrith Panthers player has been the standout for the Raiders tonight. Hosking has had a blinder. Loose pass there to Fogarty. Does well to collect it. Fifth and last now, Raiders. What can they come up with? They can come up with a penalty, is what they can come up with. And the Raiders will have a full set of 6 here because I'm assuming they'll turn down the 2. I'm assuming they'll turn down the 2 here. And they are having the full set of 6. 5 out from the line from dummy half. Well, he's not grounded at Denny Levi. He's claiming it. He's claiming it, and it's gone up as a try. I never actually saw the ball grounded. He seems very confident, though, Denny Levi. Let's see. It was very sneaky in there, ducking under a couple of big forwards. Puts the head down and go, oh, straight through. No issues at all. Under the post. What was I doing during the Jared Hayne era? Watching rugby union. Yeah, watching the proper rugby. Yeah, I went through a really big period where I just did not get into rugby league at all. It was round about the time of the Super League split, and it took me a long time to come back. I feel like the Super League split really, as the conversion is successful from right in front, I feel like the Super League split was really damaging to the sport. And it just, it took me a very, very long time to come back to rugby league. Mr. Peeble says, if you ever get the chance, watch the game Hayne played against St. George, where he beats 9 players with his steps. It was pure magic. As the Knights get us back underway, 14 points to 6. The Raiders, unexpectedly, I would say. Oh, and he scores after that. Beats 9 players with his steps and scores. And that was back when the Dragons weren't so crap as well, wasn't it? I don't know, I'm assuming. That's just an assumption. 14 points to 6 here. 30 minutes to go. And the Raiders go up towards halfway. Rapana chopped down. 5th and last. Marju takes it on the full. Runs crossfield. Looking for a gap. It doesn't open up. It's only 8 points, but let's see if panic starts to creep into the Knights game here. UFC says I had to stop watching Union because of the soft yellow red cards that would completely ruin my punts. Fair enough. But now, unfortunately, we see that in both codes. Down the short side go the Knights, up over halfway, fifth and last. Solid defense from the Raiders. Crossland is cut out. It's back to Hastings. High ball. Great kick chase. Pressure at the back. Rapana does extremely well to hold on to that ball. But the Knights defensively just completely... They're completely dominating at the moment. They've got to give away no penalties and cut out the errors. But they have lifted defensively for sure. Tackle 3. Keeping the Raiders pinned down here. Fifth and last, 30 metres out from their own line, the Raiders. It's another big set of 6 defensively from the Knights. Fogarty puts it high. Oh, it's a Matt Burton special, that one. And Ponga nearly makes a meal of it. Does well to have it in. Now almost gets around the outside, but well taken down by Timoko. There will never be another Hayne, says Mr. Peebles. I am look, I'm familiar with... I never actually saw any of it, personally. But I am familiar that he was one of the greats of the game. From what I've heard. Now, Gagai steps back in field. Nearly breaks through. Just taken down by the shoelaces. Quick play the ball. Cogger back into the open side. Crossland puts the kick in behind the line. How does this ball bounce? It's knocked on by the Raiders, and it's called backwards. You are joking, ref. You are kidding me. The referee has called that backwards from Rapana. It's gone about 62 metres forward, and he's called it knocked back. Wow. Insanity there from the referee. The same thing happened for me with Jonathan Thurston as well. See, I was gone for that whole Jonathan Thurston period. People tell me all the time, "Oh, Jonathan Thurston's so great. He's one of the he's an immortal. He's a legend. He's one of the greatest to ever play the game." I came back to rugby league at the back end of Thurston's career, and quite honestly, he was shithouse. I didn't see what all the fuss was, but I also acknowledged that I missed a lot of it. A second kick almost puts pressure on the Knights at the back. So I do admit I missed a lot of Thurston's career. Maybe he was as great as they say. I just never saw it. I came back to rugby league for the back end of the Thurston era, and yeah, he was awful. Awful. Way past it, obviously. Well, being a Queenslander doesn't help, but no, he was beyond doing good things by the time I came back. I can't comment on whether he was once good or not. I can only speak about the years I saw. And the years I saw, he was quite aged and beyond it. But I openly admit to people that have a go at me about it, I openly admit I missed a lot of years. I spent a lot of years being purely a rugby union supporter. I missed a lot of those players. I missed the Gasniers. I missed the Haynes. I missed the prime Thurston, apparently. I missed a lot of this stuff. Just didn't see it. The Knights on the attack, 10 metres out. Short ball. Pierce Paul gets the offload back to Hastings. They keep it alive. They are panicking a little bit here. They don't need to. Plenty of time left. Fifth and last, 10 metres out. Big open side here. Close to the camera. Hastings out the back to Gamble. Gamble with the double pump. Goes to ground. Fires it back in field. Saifidi's got it. And now Cogger tries to get the kick away. Was it played at? Is it 6 again? No. Hastings runs cross field in his court. Oh, it is 6 again. It is 6 again. And it's tackle 1 for the Knights. Here's their chance. Vincent Spears, hometown music. Ahoy, mate. Sayafidi runs to the far side. Oh, looks for the offload. They are panicking, the Knights. There's a lot of panic in this play. They're 5 out. Tackle 2. Crossland steps and goes on his own. He's caught in front of the post. 5 out. Oh, they go to the left. Hastings out the back. Cuts out Ponga. Goes to Bradman Best. And Best is wrapped up by 3 Raiders defenders on tackle 4. Plays the ball to nobody. Marju just gets there. Marju puts the head down and goes on his own. And Marju scores. Greg Marju has scored. It's going to go up as no try because it always has. Yes, it does. This referee loves to send it up as no try. So we need a conclusive camera angle. He's close here, Marshall. He's short. He's... yeah, well, this is going to be inconclusive. But the Knights will get the ball back for one last play. That will be tackle 5, and it'll be Knights' ball. Yeah, he's short there, Marju. He's short of the line. That'll be 5th and last. Knights will have the ball. They will have one last play. $14 points to 6. It remains 24 minutes to go. Knights 5th and last, a metre short of the line. We still have no ticks on the multi. Fifth and last, it goes back to Hastings. Hastings to Campbell. Out the back to Gagai. Gagai will take them on. It's the 5th and last, you know, Gagai. Oh, what a goof. What a great big goof. Gagai had no idea, I don't think, that it was the 5th and last. And he's just gone to ground. Well, that was a horrendous 5th tackle option. As Denny Levi limps off the field for the Raiders. That'll bring Tom Starling on. 23 and a half minutes to go. 14 points to 6 it remains. That was a dead set shocker of a 5th tackle option from the Knights. Gagai just surrendering in the tackle. Going to ground. Papali'i taken on the 5th and last. Raiders still inside their own half. Territory's been tough for them. Fogarty puts it high. Not a lot of distance again. Marju takes it on the full. Skips on the outside of one, but is taken in midfield by another wall of Raiders defense. So many... when the decisions just go up immediately is no try all the time. Bradman Best taking a little high there, but he's taken a ground. The Knights go up towards halfway. They are, once again, they're chewing up meters here, the Knights. They've just got to... oh, kick on tackle 4, in behind the line. It's going to sit up. Rapana will take it. And brings it back just outside the 20 for the Raiders. Savage now. Nowhere to go for him. Solid defense again from the Knights. We're about due for a penalty, I reckon. It's been a while since the last penalty. Got to be due for one. Tackle 4, Raiders. Again, meters hard to come by in their set of 6. They're up over halfway, though. Here, Papali'i. Good charge. Just over the halfway line. Fogarty puts it high again. Ponga casually walks forward, takes it. Little goose step at it. Nearly opened up for him, but he slipped. Oh, it nearly opened up for him there. Gagai from dummy half. It's wrapped up. 10 from 10 completions for the Raiders. Just a very simple play, really. You've got to give it to Ricky Stewart. He's a quality coach. I mean, he makes the most out of what he's got. 10 from 10 completions, a quarter of the way through. 3/4 of the way through this game. Halfway through this second half. That's what I was trying to say. Fifth and last on halfway. Hastings puts it high. There's no pressure at the back on Rapana. Takes it well. Oh, that's a big hit. Crunching tackle, but Rapana holds onto it. Bradman Pest absolutely drilled him. Tackle 2. Raiders again. Not a lot of meters. They go expansive. They go wide early. And Hopoate's wrapped up. Savage now thinks he spots half a gap. Good run. Good post-contact meters. Xavier Savage, of all people. 40 meters out here, the Raiders, from their own line. Fifth and last. Fogarty's not been getting a lot of distance on these kicks. And again, this one's going to bounce, though. This could bounce anywhere. And it does. Oh, it bounces into the end goal. It's a great bounce. And Maju is crunched and driven into the end goal. More ass than class there. More ass than class and a lucky bounce. And into the end goal it travels. And the Knights are absolutely rattled. I think so. Mr. Peebles says, I think Newcastle has forgotten Dominic Young isn't on the right wing anymore. Kalyn Ponga, very lackadaisical there, and Maju was on a hiding to nothing, and he was way too upright, bringing that out of the end goal. And the sea of green defenders there again. Well, that's a crusher tackle from Papali'i, if the one in the first half was. And the Knights have absolutely shat the bed here, to be fair. Maju's getting a nice little massage. The Knights do seem a little bit clueless without Dominic Young. You get the feeling that some of those tactical meetings were probably like, just pass it to Dom. We're within 20 meters of the line, pass it to Dom. Short drop out here from Ponga. It's well placed. They let it bounce, and the Raiders come down with it. The Raiders have the ball. They could put this game to bed here. Mr. Peebles says, by the way, did you hear the NRL has changed the ball this season? I did not hear that. I did not hear that at all. Tackle 3. They've raced through this tackle count here, the Raiders. Strange tries to step. He's taken down. Tackle 4. They're still 10 meters out. They've made it more round. Why? That's the most bizarre thing I've ever heard. Fifth and last, Raiders. They're 10 meters out, just to the left of the post. They stay on their short side. Hudson Young puts the kick in, and Ponga, nice and low to the ground, secures it. But look where they are, the Knights. They've got to go 99 meters upfield if they want to have a crack here. And they are under the pump in front of their home fans here. Gagai takes it 10 meters out. Best. The backs getting involved. Maju on the fifth and last. It's a long way upfield here for the Knights. Hastings from inside the 30 gets the kick into space. It's a nice kick. It finds the grass. Rapana has all the time in the world, though, to go back and collect it. $14 to 6. 17.5 minutes to go. And the longer this goes on, the more this favours the Raiders. Ricky Stewart might have just pulled off an epic Sticky Ricky ambush here in round 1. Hoskin onto Kotrick. Hoskin has been immense from the Penrith Panthers set up into the Raiders, and he is bringing all that premiership winning form with him. Hoskin's been man of the match tonight. Fifth and last, Raiders, 30 out. High ball, Fogarty. Not a lot of distance on it again. Raiders keep it alive though, and here's a chance. Xavier Savage will score in the corner. Xavier Savage plants it down, and that is a tick on the multi. And that is a big moment in this match. 16 and a half minutes to go. And the Raiders have just opened up a 2 converted try lead. There was nothing doing there at all. The kick was atrocious. And suddenly, Xavier Savage is on the outside in plenty of room. Slams it down. A Ricky Stewart ambush at its best. Whoops. Try confirmed. 16 minutes to go. The Knights have been abysmal. Knights for the wooden spoon this year. UFC Only Fam says Spencer Lenu for Prime Minister. Wow, we're not getting into that. We can't get into that on the live stream. There is still 15 minutes to go in this game. Oh, hello. Hey, what are you doing back there, huh? From the sideline, Fogarty hooks it way left. Newcastle need to be absolutely faultless now for the remainder of this game. 15 minutes to go. 2 converted tries the difference. They have to be absolutely faultless. No mistakes. Gamer Mel says, my bets are all over. Xavier was the only tick. Still need 5 try scorers to win that. Hey, it's all right. Xavier Savage is the only tick on mine as well. But the Knights, I need the Knights try scorers. So I'm still on here. 15 minutes to go. I'm not willing to write mine off just yet. The Knights have been atrocious, though, in fairness. Big charge up there. Zach Hoskin, man of the match. Penrith Panthers boy coming to the Raiders, showing them how it's done. That's been the difference, in all honesty. Zach Hoskins, it's taken a Penrith Panther to be the difference maker for the Raiders tonight. Fifth and last on halfway. Fogarty puts it high. Ponga should take this on the full. It does. But look at this wall of Raiders defense again. He offloads to Gagai. Gagai's crunched in midfield and driven backwards by Papali'i and Hudson Young. No, that's not Hudson Young. That's Smithies. The Raiders kick chase. Dominant. Hastings from dummy half. Nothing doing. They are completely headless here, the Knights. This is not the same Newcastle Knights that went on that run at the back end of last year. To the short side they go. Gamble at the back. Ponga tries to step. Fifth and last. They're short of halfway. 13 minutes to go. The kick straight down the throat of Rapana. Plenty of meters to be made on the kick return here. Rapana DJ Shack says, take nothing away from the Raiders. They haven't been flamboyant or ambitious. They've just played a methodical, simple game. They've played a Ricky Stewart game. They have completely ambushed the Knights here tonight. Big time ambush. Adam O'Brien looks very worried up in the coach's box. Adam O'Brien's tactic sheets probably still say, pass it to Dom Young. Starling from dummy half. Thought he spotted a gap. Fifth and last. Raiders. Back to Fogarty. Puts it high. That's a great kick. Oh, a little bit too deep. No, perfectly placed. And Marju under pressure. Bumps away from one. Still going Marju. Big charge. Is that enough to get the team going forward? There's plenty of time left for only 2 tries. But that was a good start to the set. That was a little stupid, though, from Adam Elliott, just running straight back into contact. And then he spills the ball. Well, it was stupid. He ran straight back into 2 players rather than trying to find open space, and now he has dropped the ball. Oh, the Knights have just completely ballsed this up. This was a gift 2 points. An absolute gift 2 points at home for the Knights. And they have completely shat the bed. Well, I did not have the Knights in my top 8, and justifiably so after tonight. They have been atrocious. Here go the Raiders down the far side. Timoko tries to step through. He's taken down. They can seal the deal here, the Raiders. Tarpany offloads to Starling. Starling gets the offload away. No, he holds onto it, Starling. Fifth and last. Incoming here. Ball still alive, though. Strange. Out to Hopewade. Hopewade to Rapana. And Rapana will score in the corner. And that's the game. Rapana scores in the corner. And that puts this game to bed. They're still going to win the spoon this year, but I reckon the Knights might be a very close 16th based on this. $22 points to 6. The kick to come from out wide will be missed. Fogarty won't convert from out there, but 9.5 minutes to go. 16 points is way too big for this ineffective Knights attack. The Knights, what have they done? They've just sacrificed a gift 2 points here. A classic Ricky Stewart ambush. Classic sticky Ricky ambush to start the season. DJ Shack says they've scored 6 points in nearly 70 minutes. I don't expect them to score 18 in 9. When did I say that I did? Conversion from the sideline, as I predicted, is missed because Fogarty can't kick goals. And that will be the Raiders' undoing this season. Oh, Robert M., our statsman in the back. Robert M., our statsman in the back. He's in the stands again. 6 months and counting. Thank you, sir. Another one wrong. Hey, it's early season. It's early season. Predictions are hard. Short kickoff here is going to go out on the full, way out on the full. As a matter of fact, it's collected the cameraman's assistant on the back of the head. Kalyn Ponga's had a dead set shocker tonight. Kalyn Ponga's probably had the worst game of his entire career. Does the son of a bitch have to wear a maroon jersey before he's any good, or? I mean, seriously, why can't Kalyn Ponga be this shithouse at State of Origin? %100% completion rate for the Raiders in this second half. I mean, that wins football games. 100% completion rate. A Queensland Cup team's going to beat an NRL team with 100% completion rate. I mean, the Raiders have just done the basics right. Simple play. As somebody pointed out earlier, just simple play. They have not overplayed their hand. They've just done it. They've gone through the motions, completed their sets. Newcastle are making all the play, making all the mistakes. 5th and last, 7 minutes to go. Fogarty runs. Beats one. He will be caught with the ball on the last. 7 minutes to go. Oh, you still pick Ponga above Walsh any day of the week, don't you? I don't know. I'm not a Queenslander, so I can't speak for Queensland team selection, but Jesus, Ponga's been terrible tonight, but Walsh was worse in Vegas, wasn't he? Kalyn Ponga's got a longer history of stepping up in the big moments, and Reece Walsh has got a very storied short history of going missing in the big moments. So I think Ponga still wins that call-up at Origin, surely. Yeah, catch you later, Game ML. See you tomorrow, yeah? See you tomorrow night, Game ML. Storm Panthers. Storm Panthers tomorrow night. Craig Bellamy's 100% round one record is on the line. And boy, is it on the line. Cameron Munster had a little bit incident in the shower. Is unavailable. The Melbourne Storm are in big, big danger of their first ever round one loss of the Craig Bellamy era. But yes, as this game winds to a close, I don't know. I can't imagine that. I don't see how Reece Walsh gets picked for such a big game when he has proven to shit the bed at the elite level. You go Ponga, surely. I mean, not that I'm a fan of either player, but just Origin level where every mistake matters. You've got the player with the biggest error rate. The biggest error rate and the highest number of negative plays for the entirety of the 2023 season in Reece Walsh. Surely he does not get the nod. Newcastle really missing Dominic Young, Mr. Peebles. I mean, Dominic Young, some of those... Look at Dominic Young's highlights. Dominic Young's highlights from last season. in this Knights team. And now they've got good shape out to the left. Bradman Best driven backwards. 4.5 minutes to go. Robert M says, question for me. For the Broncos next game, do you go Oates on the wing? I think, honestly, Dane Mariner or Dean Mariner. Dean Mariner? Dane Mariner? D. Mariner. D. Mariner showed some really positive signs for mine. Some really positive signs. So I would persist with him. And I'm not just saying that because I've got a $50 bet on an $18. Oh, Hastings dummies and goes straight through. And a consolation try for the Knights. A consolation try for Newcastle. A consolation inside the last 5 minutes. What was I saying? Yeah, so look, I thought Mariner was probably one of the standout players for the Broncos over in Vegas. So I would persist with him. Selwyn Cobbo is probably the player in danger, though, in all honesty. Cobbo at centre, I predicted was going to be wasted. And he had some good runs out of territory. But you get those runs out of territory from him on the wing as well. So, I don't know. I really don't know what the Broncos do. I've got some cheeky money on the Broncos being winless after 5 rounds. So, whatever it is they need to fix up, I really hope they don't fix it up anytime soon. I really, really, really hope they don't. But, yeah, Mariner's got a lot of upside. Corey Oates is obviously well beyond the back end of his career. I actually don't know how he's still playing. But credit to him that he actually still exists. But maybe is what I'm thinking, Robert, is you swap Cobbo back out to the wing. Maybe you put Cobbo back out to the wing and you put Mariner in the centres. I don't know. Here go the Knights now. They've suddenly decided to play. They've left it all a little bit too late. They've waited until the 77th minute to start playing footy. Hastings to Crossland. Gamble at the back it goes to Frizzell. Frizzell's crunched by Rapana. Inside the last 3 minutes now. 10 points the difference. Fifth and last. Knights up over halfway. Knocked on by Crossland. Knocked on by Phoenix Crossland. Robert M says, I'm going to round 4 and just for you, made a sign. Check out Wasted Water Sports. Nice. I'm going to keep an eye out for that. Who's round 4, actually? Is round 4 the Cowboys game? Because I put a cheeky little bet on the Broncos to be winless after 5 rounds. And I think it's the Cowboys that they're up against that I was like, ugh, that's the 50-50 one. They're definitely going to lose every other one, but that Cowboys game was the 50-50 one for me. That could be the 1-4. But if the Cowboys can get it together and get up and get the win, I'll be laughing because the Broncos are definitely losing the other games. Sorry, Broncos supporters. Sorry, Broncos supporters, but those other games are the Roosters, which have already lost, the Rabbitohs, the Panthers, and the Storm. So it is that my bet, I do believe, hinges on that Cowboys game in round 4. If they lose that one, I am well and truly on. All right, minute and a half to go in this one. I've got to go have a cheeky pee. All right. Inside the last minute. Oh, did they get another try, the Raiders, while I was gone? Whoa, was it Hudson Young? Jesus Christ. So I got both Raiders try scorers. That's hilarious. No, it was Zach Hoskin. Back to Hudson Young. And you all questioned why. You all questioned why I had Hudson Young in my try scorers. The Raiders have completed at 100% in the second half. I mean, that wins footy games. They're still going to collect the wooden spoon, by the way. Newcastle might be a very close 16th. Very close. 16. But wow, the Knights, how bad were they? How awful were the Newcastle Knights tonight? Terrible. All right, what was I on about? Can't remember. What was I saying? Oh, the Broncos. Yeah. Broncos, Cowboys. That's going to be a big game. I think that's the one. I think the Broncos lose all the other games. Yeah, I believe they definitely get done in the other games, but yeah, I can't remember. Oh, wow. Wasted World of Sports. What an upset here. 28 points to 12, no less. The Knights were awful. Kalyn Ponga probably had the worst game of his career ever. I hate Kalyn Ponga. We all know that I hate Kalyn Ponga. Not a fan. But the reason I hate him is because he's usually a good player. Tonight, atrocious. That's probably the worst I've ever seen anyone play in the NRL ever. Honestly, I'm not even exaggerating. I'm prone to exaggeration, as we know. But I'm not exaggerating. That's probably the worst NRL standard game I've seen from a supposed superstar of the game ever in the history of the game. And I'm including those years that I wasn't watching. Mr. Peebles says Ponga is Newcastle's Cherry Evans. Cherry Evans was fabulous on the weekend, though, in fairness. Luke Brooks was better. I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out for Manly. I called Luke Brooks being a standout this season. Luke Brooks for the Dally M. How's that for a big call? All right, West World of Sports. Doubleheader coming up tomorrow. Warriors, Sharks, Panthers, Storm. I will keep the postgame. There's not a whole lot to say about that game, so I'll keep the postgame pretty short. I wouldn't be surprised. Mr. Peebles has said, Dan, I have Manly top 4. Look, I didn't put them in my top 4, but I wouldn't be if they stay fit. If they stay fit, that is not a ridiculous prediction. I'm just not convinced they can stay fit. Manly are just 1 or 2 key injuries away from also rans. That's the problem. That's the problem with Manly. They are always just 1 or 2 injuries away from being also rans. I can't put them confidently in the top 4 for that reason. But if they stay fit, 100% a top 4 threat. Premiership threat. I'd love to know, what are their odds, actually? Let's look at this while I'm still here. Their odds for the premiership, probably worth a cheeky bet. In all honesty, if they stay fit, I'm not even joking. We are not joking here, people. A fully fit and firing Manly Sea Eagles team. I'm so curious to know what they're paying for the premiership, because it might be worth a flutter. It really would be. A fully fit and firing Manly team. They're a smoky for the premiership, but it does rely on them being fit across the park. I mean, they need their top 17 week in, week out for the whole season. There's no two ways about it. Their top 17 need to be fit and firing, but that top 17 is a premiership threat. 100%. 100%. I'm on the Manly bandwagon this season. I mean, I just want to see a Luke Brooks fairy tale, because that poor son of a bitch has been raked under the coals like no one else. And if anyone deserves it, it's him. So I am on board with this whole Manly thing this season. Believe me. Anyways, West to Water Sports, thank you so much. I will take my leave tonight because it is a work night. Got to get up early tomorrow. God damn it. I don't want to. Ah, jeez. I really don't want to, but I do have to. Work tomorrow and then double header. Warriors, Sharks, Panthers, Storm. Coming up tomorrow night. Thank you so much for your company for this one. Wow, what a turn up. What a start to the season it's been all across the park. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Until then, cheers. Yes.
World of sports, eh?
Oh, he's copped a head right to the nuts. Tedesco's butt crack. Ahoy! He's nearly taken security's head off.
I have no idea what the wasted world of sports is.